I'm John Cookman, as you can see, but I have a special guest, and this guy is a legend. I say that. We're good friends. Full transparency and disclaimer, we played golf together and have played many rounds together. I had a lot of talks, so I do know his mind. But he has been a mentor to me and my sensei in women's volleyball. Mostly NAIA, but even broader than that. We've watched and talked about it from the highest level all the way to club volleyball for 8, 9, 10-year-olds. Yeah. And I wouldn't really know anything about this sport except for the last 15 years. Coach Moore, Hank, the former head coach of Nelson University now, used to be known as SAGU, where he spent most of his coaching time. How many years, Hank?
24.
24 years, one of the most winningest coaches that has ever been in the NAIA. He's got a lot of knowledge, a lot of relationships. So it is an absolute pleasure and honor that you would take the time to actually do this, because I think this maybe history will tell us, but this may be a very interesting perspective here in 2025. The things that you're going to say today, the things that we have researched, and in my team, James Lex is producing this, and the things that we talk about, I think will yield out important, maybe could bring some change, some change for better, maybe, if it needs it. And it just highlights these wonderful student athletes and wonderful coaches. It's hard being a coach. So let's first just talk. You 24 years, head coach, women's volleyball in the NAIA. How hard was the job to coach?
Well, for me coming in, I was a collegiate football player and played basketball as well in college 1 year, and learning the sport of volleyball, I kind of stumbled into volleyball through church league.
Oh, okay.
And a friend of mine, we started playing in men's tournaments, and I was a
I don't
minister.
think I knew that.
Yeah. And learned a lot about volleyball. Didn't know that there were actual positions until I played in some tournaments. But just, learning a lot along the way, started all the way back to being an administrator of a Christian school and couldn't find a volleyball coach. And I thought, I think I could do this. So I coached the women's volleyball team and learned a lot. And, when the opportunity came to come to Nelson University as the athletics director, I did that and watched our volleyball program grow into what it was. And the very first year that I coached volleyball here, became the head coach, was the very first year of rally scoring.
Oh, really?
We used to play the old way where
what
you
year?
had to,
Give us a reference.
2001.
Oh, wow.
The NAIA and really NCAA as well adopted rally scoring, where there's a point awarded every single serve. And games at the beginning went to 30 instead of 25. Wow. So everybody, it was kind of neat because my first year in, everyone was really learning a new style of volleyball.
Oh,
and
wow.
So I learned a lot along the ways, and along the way, and then the second year in, they came up with a position that nobody could even settle on how we're going to call it. Is it a libero, and the libero came into play my second year. So now I had to learn how do we use this libero? Can she set in front of the front?
Most people call it libero now,
libero,
right?
Yeah. And so now everybody's learning. So, and playing in the NAIA volleyball is just incredible. The strength of those programs are unbelievable. And we were in a conference with one of the very best NAIA programs in history, Houston Baptist University, wow, which is now Houston Christian University, and they're a Division I, NCAA Division I program. But they were in our conference, and we played those people twice a year. And man, we would get beat pretty good, but I would always find a way to sit down with Katie Platt and say, Katie, how are you doing this? How are you doing that? How does this work here? And how are you? And man, I learned so much from Katie Platt, and Katie was at Houston Baptist, and they were in the NAIA National Tournament every year. I mean, they were just a tremendous program. And then she left there and went to the University of Houston as their head coach.
Oh,
and
wow.
but you just it's a process of learning, you know. And the other day I was talking in a class, and I'm teaching a sports psychology class. And here we go. We're talking about the importance of communication, and what kind of an impact does a pregame talk have on athletes? And I told the kids when I was preparing for this lecture, I went, oh my goodness. I gave 838 of those things.
Wow.
You know, I wonder how many times I repeated myself, you know, but
That's amazing.
it's a lot of
838.
838 of them. And, you know, when we look at how volleyball has grown, how it has grown on our campus here at Nelson University, and how it's evolved into the program that it is today, a lot of it goes back to teaching how to do things correctly. Goes back to taking the NAIA Champions of Character and go, okay, here, they've given us a tool, so let's teach on each one of those points. Mm-hmm. Being people of integrity, you know. The other night we're playing in our girls are playing against Texas Wesleyan. They're playing for the conference tournament championship game, and they're in a fifth set. And the replays are involved now. You can challenge calls.
Yeah.
And Texas Wesleyan has a girl, and she hit a ball pretty hard, out of bounds, and all the line judges called it out of bounds and everything. And a little girl from Nelson University turned to R2 and said, "I touched that ball."
Wow.
Their coach was getting ready to use her challenge, and she didn't have to challenge it because of integrity. You know, and that's the way that we've tried to do things here. And I know that that's the heart of the whole NAIA, is to be people of integrity, to handle things correctly. This national tournament, we've been privileged to be a part of it the last 5 years, and to see teams progress through that is just powerful. And that's the thought.
So on the coaching front, though, that's a difficult job.
It is a difficult job. There's a lot of time involved, you know, and before I came over here, I stopped by our head coach's office and just said, "How's the preparation coming?" And he goes, "Well, let me show you what I did last night." You know, and he just found out at 4:00 yesterday who his opponent was going to be.
Yeah.
And 1:00 today, he's got a game plan laid out completely. Well, I'm not real good with math, but 4:00 to 1:00, that's not a lot of time. But I know he put his child to bed and probably sat at a computer, watched game film, and started preparing to have his team ready. But the challenge is, you know, you're dealing with resources, and you do the very best that you can do. And I look at our coaches, and you'll see there's 48 teams in this thing, but there's 198 teams that according to this little log that we're looking at, 198 teams playing. That means that there's 150 teams today having their team meetings, turning in uniforms, and saying goodbye to seniors, and it's a tough job.
Wow.
And it draws on you.
Those are the things that we as fans, and probably maybe not so much the family members, because they're emotionally invested as well, but a lot of the close friends and the circle around you don't really realize what you go through as a coach. And there's a lot of emotional highs, but there sure is a lot of lows and bittersweet moments. And it's I've always had the most admiration for coaches. They just, it's like teachers. You don't get a ton of recognition for, or the respect. I think it's because people just don't know what goes on daily. But I can't say enough about the wonderful coaches that I've met in my 15, 16 years of being around the NAIA, seeing a lot of games in every sport, and just so many are dedicated to the success of that student athlete.
Yep.
And that's why I say, this is an amazing place
Yeah.
to be when you keep that in perspective.
Yep.
That is that just kind of keeps everything
Yeah,
grounded,
it does.
especially when you're going to hear my hot takes on what I disagree with. Just
Well, and,
remember, this is a little moment in time.
Yeah, when you're looking at those young ladies that are involved in this, those girls, I can speak for 24 years. Those kids are truly student athletes.
Mm-hmm.
They're incredible students, and I know that our team goal is always 3.6 GPA as a team average, and those girls do it. They do it year in and year out, and yet they're going to spend 30 hours a week working on volleyball.
Yeah, that's another untold
how
story.
Are they doing that? But they do it.
And we were both collegiate athletes, and the amount of time that you have to put in to be really good at your craft and then do your work.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I think it's the same way now, but I know when I was coming through, you had to have the grades or you weren't going to play.
Yeah.
And most of the teams I played on, it was an above what the league had set for you. Usually your athletic programming would set a little higher standard.
Yeah.
So you had to meet those, and that's nerve-wracking just on itself, plus put in and keep your head in the game and those kind of things. So there's a lot, and that's why we want to spend time really highlighting the life of the student athlete, the coaches, the SIDs. They don't get enough, they pour their life into helping, especially at the NAIA level. Is these are schools that are not brimming over with finances that you just don't worry about. Like, these are people who are putting in extra hours without pay and trying to make all this happen. So that's why there's a puristic love I have for the NAIA and what's going on. All right. All that to say, we need to talk about volleyball.
Here we go.
So the matchups. The matchups are very, very important. It's James, I don't know if you can throw that how we got here or the 48. Let's look at the graphic that says
there we go.
48 teams will make. And so you said that there's 198 teams.
198.
I said 219 for some reason.
Yeah.
But officially, the fact check has been made. There's 198 teams.
John, I was wrong. I apologize.
Okay.
208.
208. Oh, you know what? I did see that number.
Yeah,
all right.
208.
There you go.
Split the difference. Yeah.
So 208, and only 48 teams will get into it. There will be a few more that are kind of what we call bubble teams that are until yesterday they really didn't know if they were going to be in or out.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk a little bit about that as we go. So 48 teams get in the tournament. 33 of those are auto bids. 14 come from the conference. Some conferences get 2, and then 14 gets 2, and 5 of the conferences. There's 19 conferences.
Yep.
Total, and then 5 of those conferences get only 1 auto bid. Auto bid means you did something to earn, and you get put in the tournament no matter what.
Normally, the way that works is you have conferences that have 10 or more schools get 2 bids. If your conference only has 9 or less, you only get 1 bid.
Mm-hmm.
To get that bid, you have to win your conference regular season or your conference tournament. There are ways a couple of these teams got in. They didn't win their conference during their season.
Okay.
and they weren't even in the top 2, but they advanced to the semifinal, or they advanced to the finals of their conference tournament. And because they got there, they won a bid. And that comes back to, you win your conference tournament against the team that wasn't the conference champion. That conference champion still gets their automatic bid.
Yeah, and so does the
winner of the conference tournament gets the bid, the second bid.
Yeah. Or the top placement.
Correct.
That wasn't the winner.
Correct.
So, and you could kind of see right there how the qualifier, all the teams that did qualify, how they made it. And if you pay attention to the link up there, all of this is public information, and you could go to NAIA.org and track all this down, not just for volleyball, but all sports. They just do it there, and NAIA is getting so much better as technology is available to present all this to the fans, to the players, to the families. And I just love where we're headed with this. All right, so that is how we got here to the tournament. 48 teams. There, when you pare everything down, and let's say you got 60, 65 teams that potentially could make it, well, some folks are going to get left out. And then you have to go, okay, from 1 to 48, did you get that right? And there are criteria. So we'll take a quick look at the way the bracket runs from, so 48 divided by 2. There's, each match is going to be 2 teams. So it's 24, top 24 teams. And then so if you go to 24, where it says Cornerstone, and you see Walla Walla, that means Walla Walla was 25th. And so it's kind of like a snake. You go down 1 through 24, and then you can easily figure out where you got seated in the tournament. So Walla Walla is 25th.
Now, in some of that, though, John, one of the things that the committee will also look at, let's just say hypothetically, Lindsey Wilson on that sheet, they're playing 15, so that's going to put them at 20 or at 34. Well, 34 may not be where they actually landed in the 48. They may be 1 or 2 spots higher or lower, and then they start looking at geographical locations. And my understanding is that they always consider cost of travel.
Okay.
So if right above Lindsey Wilson's Texarkana, which is a really bad example of what I'm trying to say, because Texarkana is in East Texas.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to make a pilgrimage to California.
Yep.
That's not a close match for them. But what they do is they try to get as many teams geographically kind of lined up as close as possible. There's the thought that's showing the number of miles that separates some of those schools. Well, like Florida National, they're going to travel 1,700 miles to play against Concordia. They're coming from Florida. They're going to Nebraska. I would dare say they're not going to drive. So now what is it going to cost that school to go? And for NAIA schools, a lot of our schools, John, this is a big challenge.
Yeah.
It is a challenge. How do we?
Because you're going to fly. I mean, I think the rule is
not.
Once you start seeing more than 700 miles, then you've got to consider flying.
Yep.
And how many do you fly? I mean,
you take 18 players and a head coach, an assistant coach, a graduate assistant, and a manager, and that's all you're allowed to travel.
And just think of it this way.
And a trainer. You
don't get to reserve that months in advance.
No. And so what's that
within
cost?
Days. So you're getting max pricing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's just tough.
That's a challenge. When you look at the schools in Lewis and Clark, going from Idaho to Taylor, Indiana.
Got to go
2,200 miles.
Yeah. So some of these have to be done by airplane.
Sure.
And we've noticed over the years that this has become they have back 10 to 12, 15 years ago, they really took that into consideration.
They did geography.
And you were much more regional.
Yep.
And
but
then
not,
that's just the
not
way.
as much right
it's
now.
just
No.
not, and you can see that how that works out. Some are close, but not many, to be honest with you. It looks like a lot more are over the 700-mile mark than are under it.
Yeah, Grandview to Midland is the closest one, right? No, Rio Grande to Mount Vernon. 2 Ohio schools playing each other. They're 2.5 hours apart.
You know that
I know
landscape
both
pretty
of those
well.
schools. Yes.
All right, so let's just start breaking it down.
Okay.
But we'll kind of we'll attack maybe some of the more controversial seedings and pairings.
Yeah.
But let's just go from 1 down to 24. So
Okay.
1, Eastern Oregon and Simpson. Eastern Oregon has been there. Man, they've been in the top 5 all year, right?
Yep.
And because they got ranked 1, they're going to, and this is just the way tournaments work.
Yeah.
You're going to get that team that was probably on the bubble, and that is Simpson. They had to earn their way in. I can't remember how it was that they earned their way in, but
I think they won their conference.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they did it. Did they win the season or the tournament? I think it was. Yeah, they were the
Yeah,
tournament
they were
champions,
tournament
not
champions.
the season champs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which Continental Athletic Conference is the obscure, you don't have a conference. So it used to be called the Independent Conference.
Yep.
So that conference is huge. Like you can see Florida College is playing Simpson in California, and they're all over the place.
Yeah. Haskell.
Talk about traveling.
Yeah, that's an expensive conference.
Yeah. Yeah, so Florida National did get in, I believe, but
Yeah, they got in,
but Simpson, that's so weird. Alice Lloyd, 1-0. What? 23-8. They played a lot of games,
yeah. But they played one conference
They only
game.
played one conference
Yeah.
game. So weird. So Simpson gets in by winning the tournament.
Yep.
And they're in the last seed, but they had to knock off someone.
They had to beat somebody to get there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I guess we could bring that back up, who we think they may have knocked off, because there's some teams that did not get in that we felt like should have gotten in. And
Probably Florida National. Yeah, because Florida National's tournament runner-up.
Yeah, but Florida National got in.
Yeah, they got in as tournament runner-up. But if you look at when we looked at their conference ranking, they were number 1 in the conference going into the tournament.
So they were getting 2.
Yeah, but they had 10. So they had 10 schools, so they're going to get 2. They're going to get 2 bids.
Yep.
So you're looking at when we're looking at these numbers on the RPI, you're looking at number.
Okay, so let me just, you're going to say that, and you guys can go and look at all this information. This is not stuff that's insider knowledge or anything. We pull it from NAIA.org. They have the ARC rankings. They have the RPI rankings. It's a great sheet, and there you can kind of see the PDF of it. But just go to NAIA, do a search. You'll easily find it.
So you got Eastern Oregon, which is a number 2 RPI. They're 12th in strength of schedule, and then when you look at their opponent, I think was 168 on the scale of the RPI. Now that's not the only criteria, but yeah.
So that's a wide margin.
That's a wide margin.
Yeah. So you're looking at a 28-2 overall team facing off against a less than 500 team, 14-15, and just some of the key metrics: hitting percentage, 228 for Eastern Oregon, 179 for Simpson. they're not too terribly far off. Kills per set, 12 and a half kills per set for Eastern Oregon, and essentially 12 for Simpson. And the digs, 15.7 to 15. Blocks per set, 2 to 1. So that's pretty significant.
Yep.
And service aces, not too far off, a little over 2 for each aces per set. And this is kind of one of those things you go, yeah, this is a no-brainer. Obviously we don't gamble and encourage that, but it's a sure bet, right? It's a sure thing, kind of thing. So Simpson, I always love the underdogs, and Simpson's going to have to play their best match of their life. And, we've seen crazy things happen before. It's just not likely. So that's why it's a 1-48 kind of matchup. All right, number 2, Northwestern. All right, let me ask you this as we go down.
Yeah. I said Simpson was 1-6. They're 147 on the RPI.
Oh, okay, yeah. Still
a long way apart.
Wide gap.
Yep.
It's more than just RPI, obviously.
Sure.
But,
it's strength of schedule.
Yeah.
There's,
so do you think Eastern Oregon deserved the number 1?
I knew they were going to be on the sheet that I did just the other day. I had them at 2, but I had Northwestern at 1.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at the RPI, the strength of schedule, Eastern Oregon schedule, hypothetically, strength of schedule says that Northwestern schedule's tougher. I had those 2 flip-flopped. Mm-hmm. I had Northwestern 1 and Eastern Oregon 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I did my sheet based off of RPI and strength of schedule.
Okay.
The Massey, I looked at that, John,
it's
tried
hard to understand.
I tried to figure it out and went, you know what? I don't have a degree that qualifies me to. This is crazy. Yeah. So I fleshed that one out, but. I had Northwestern 1 and Eastern Oregon 2, but you look at one of the teams that sticks out to me is just a couple of weeks ago, Providence, Montana. They're number 9. A couple of weeks ago in the coaches poll, they were number 1. And then they lost, and they moved to 2 in the coaches poll. And so when you're looking at all the different placements of where teams land in this, Providence landed at 6. Mm-hmm. So, the coaches poll literally, in my opinion, for this year, looking at this stuff, coaches poll was completely irrelevant. It was almost, I won't say a waste of time, but I'm glad that I wasn't a Raider this year. Because when I was a Raider, John, 20 plus hours a week I spent.
Wow.
Tracking what all of these teams did. I didn't do that this year because I wasn't coaching.
Yeah.
And I invested my time in teaching.
But one thing that, and why I really wanted, one of the many reasons I wanted you to speak to this is because you know how to assess this.
Yeah.
And you're used to looking at numbers. You're used to being able, and plus I think there's an eyeball test that you'll be able to
absolutely
to give that not many people will be able to.
Yep.
And I feel somewhat amateurish, even though I've been watching this quite a while and doing this. I have Eastern Oregon number 5.
Did you?
Yeah. And that has a lot of mixture to it probably has a lot to do with I think Cascade is overrated. Eastern Oregon's good. They're really, and so when you talk about the top 5, it's like that,
they're probably going to be.
It's not that big a deal to be 1 or 5.
Yeah, well, but Eastern Oregon, you don't want to get into. I know a lot of these coaches well, and I know their coach well, and that lady, she will have her kids prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, They don't make mistakes.
Yeah.
They play clean volleyball. They're powerful.
Yeah, they're big.
They're big. They get after it. I had Northwestern one just strictly because of strength of schedule and where they are. But the 1 through 5, to me on that sheet up there is kind of. I don't understand some of the placements of teams because I look at Concordia at 3, and I look at the arc. There's teams below them there's teams in their arc that are ranked higher than them.
Yeah.
But yet in this, when we look at Concordia's strength of schedule, they're 11.
Yeah.
But a lot of the strength of schedule does go back to what we had talked about earlier before we came on air. Is we're grading strength of schedule based upon a conference bias.
Absolutely.
Because we look at for instance the Cascade. Cascade is a great conference. We've played many of those schools. One of the things that we have done over the years is we fundraise.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we fundraise? Well, we fundraise so that every other year we're taking a major trip. Like we've been to Idaho to play College of Idaho. We've been to Montana to play Montana Tech and Providence, and we've played all of those schools. But we've had to fundraise to do that because that's not in a NAIA budget to make that kind of travel. But when you're looking at these teams, the coaches poll literally they say means nothing, and wait for this. The arc doesn't come into play in these numbers is what has been said, that the criteria, those two things don't come into it. Well, doing a study on time management, why do we invest all the time to have coaches poll?
Yeah.
Why do we at the end of the season? Why does a arc rater spend all the time ranking all the teams in their arc?
Yeah.
If those things don't mean anything.
Yeah.
And evidently they didn't, because when we look at several of the arcs, teams are ranked differently than their than where they fell in their arc. I look at the South, and I'm got a little bias there, and I know that. But Nelson and Texas Wesleyan, Texas A&M, all three of those teams are in. Go down, and there's other schools that
Have
that
you ever
Fisk.
been an arc rater?
Yes. No, not an arc rater. I was always our arc rater was our chair of our conference. She's the one that handled all the arc.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is that generally how it works, or can it be a
but
coach?
next year, I know in the South, the arc rater from our conference will also be our coach. He'll be the one that does a coach's poll. He'll be our rater for our conference next
Got
year.
it. So
But
it can be a coach.
It can
doesn't
be.
have to be, but
when we're doing the setting up, like Simpson is in, Fisk is in the tournament, A&M, Texas Wesleyan, and Nelson. Nelson and Wesleyan both have a higher arc rating than A&M. But when we go back to the list,
yeah. Okay, we'll get there.
A&M is ranked higher than both of those schools, and their strength of schedule is not as high as those two schools.
Yeah.
So if the criteria is RPI and strength of scheduling, there's one flaw in it, and ours is an easy one. Go to the Midwest. Whoo! There's a lot of problems with that one. McPherson's number 2 team, and
well, they got a big they got a big rating.
they have a great rating, but they're number 2 in their arc, but number 3 in their arc is number 3 in the whole tournament above them.
Yeah, go back to let's see the matchups.
Yeah. So if you look at the
Yeah.
matchup, you've got Concordia is number 3.
McPherson's all the way down at
and
8.
McPherson's all the way
Yeah.
at 8. Well, in
Yeah.
their arc, McPherson's 2, Concordia's 3.
Mhm.
And the thing is the coaches are the ones that establish that arc. Their
Yeah.
committee. They have a committee that does that.
Yeah.
Well, those are head scratchers, But,
They are. They're
but
definitely head scratchers.
But it comes back to what you said, I think, in your introduction, is that there's not a perfect way of doing it. If we have committees, they're made up of people,
Mhm.
and somewhere in it, though, I know that, and I'm not coaching anymore, but I know that they're when you're looking at you gave a number, I think you said 15. There were probably 15 schools watching the show yesterday going, are they going to call our name? Are they going to call? They didn't call our name. How do they not call our name? We only lost 4 matches we won 30 matches for the first time in school history.
Yeah.
And don't get a national bid. And when I get the disappointment. I can remember one year doing watching it, and we didn't win 30 matches that year. We won 33, and we had 0 losses, and we beat several of the top tier teams. And when they did the selection, we got a good rating, but there were people that we had beaten that were ranked higher than us, and I just there's a lot that doesn't make sense sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we really dig in on basketball, man. That is a crazy thing. Football has it. James Lex does a lot of the football, and I hear those guys. I'm not as intrinsically involved in how that works, but I hear them talk. And
when you're talking about football, our athletics director is the head of all of football
at Nelson.
At Nelson,
Yeah.
the Nelson Dr. Jesse Goding. Well, I was speaking with Dr. Goding this morning about some of these things, just going, Jesse, we're trying to do things right, and it's very frustrating. And he said, I admire a coach who sent me an email last night going, is there any way you can explain how? Mm-hmm. So Dr. Goding, and he's a brilliant man, but I'm sure he wrestled with how to explain, and yet you use numbers. Yeah. And sometimes numbers just, they are what they are.
Yeah. At the end of the day, there's going to be a level of opinionated interpretation.
Yes. Yep.
And I think that's what happens a lot of times here.
Sure.
We have to live with it. It is definitely messy. I will say this year is a little more messier than I'm used to seeing. I am sure you have seen it, so you could really speak to if it's more messy or not. To me, it just seems like it, because there are more head scratchers than not. You're not going to see, I don't think, in the top 10 is not really, other than, we could kind of move those around a little bit. But on the other side of the column, I think is where we see some of the head scratching that's going on. And I would definitely put Northwestern up at number 1. And I think Concordia should be 3 or 4. Yeah. And I've watched some of these games, and they're just
good.
These teams are fantastic.
They're great. All of those teams are wonderful.
I think McPherson deserved a 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I've seen them play, and they had the record. I don't know how they get bumped all the way down to 8. But again, in the top 10, it's a little bit of splitting hairs. I mean, Cumberlands goes undefeated. How are they 9? How are they 9? Yeah. I get it. There's going to be arguments. It comes down to, we don't like the people that make decisions will have this opinionated interpretation, and it's going to come down to we don't like who they play.
Yeah.
I think that's where it kind of comes down. And when you're in power and you get to make those decisions, you do. But just understand, we on the other side over here on the public don't get mad at us for questioning because it don't make much sense. It
when
doesn't
you look
make much sense.
at Cumberland sitting at 9, they had an undefeated season, and boy, I'm gonna tell you, it's tough to go undefeated in
no
the
matter who you
NAIA
are.
volleyball.
I don't care how
right.
good you are. And not only did they do that, they went undefeated with only 5-set losses. All year.
Yeah, and then, but in the RPI, they're ranked 10, but their strength of schedule is 97.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. This is where the strength of schedule shows its flaw and its weakness because it doesn't take in the factor of if you did what, let's just say you're right, the conference is weaker than most, okay? We won't argue that. If that team at the top that went undefeated did what they were supposed to do and won all those games, and you don't see how much the margin is. Like strength of schedule doesn't take any of those metrics, those finer,
there's
the
a lot
fine tuning of it. And now you could do a little bit of damage by misplacing them in the ranking system if you don't rank them right and put them against an opponent. You could have 2 really top tier opponents facing off whenever they shouldn't be facing off. And I think we're going to see a little bit of that. All right, we got to kind of rush through. We could talk all day. All right, yeah. So number 2, the Northwestern, the Red Raiders.
The
is
Red
how we
Raiders.
know for football, man. They've been so good in football for a long time. They're great. They're a dynasty. Maybe you've been around since I've been watching. Like unbelievable history, historically. Just dynasty type of program, and that's why we go. I have no problem with them at number 1.
I mean, they're number 2, 28-3, 16-0 in their conference, and their conference is a tough conference. They're Concordia sitting right there at 15-1, Midland 12-4, 18-10. Now you're starting to look at teams that are getting closer, like Midland. In the coaches poll they were 17, but they're 18-10 on the season. But when you look above them, we know that some of their losses came to Northwestern and Concordia. They also played some other tough opponents early, but you still look at a 10-loss team and say where should they be in this? And it's hard to equate looking at the strength of schedule carrying a lot of weight, but Northwestern is definitely 1, 2, 3 in everybody's book, and look at the 13 kills per set and 253 hitting average as a team.
Their KPI is just ridiculous.
Yeah, look at their blocks per set. They're averaging almost 3 blocks per set.
Insane.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
great
number 1
numbers.
And
their dig numbers are good. But just think how good their dig numbers were if their block numbers weren't that high.
It's so true. It is so true.
Yeah.
Great all right,
team.
They play St. Xavier.
Yeah.
This is one of those matchups not favorable to the Cougars of St. Xavier, sorry. But St. Xavier had a really decent year and went 16-1 in the CCAC. And I mean, that's hard to do to go in your conference, only lose one. And so I'm sure they're going, wow, do we really have to play Northwestern in one? Somebody's got to play them.
Yeah.
I don't know that conference quite well enough, and I haven't seen a lot of footage from St. Xavier or the conference to really give a great educated eyeball.
I saw them play a couple years ago, and the team that I saw play, they were scrappy. They were very scrappy, and where are they going to land in some of the other conferences is, that it doesn't matter because they're not in those other conferences. But I think this is a very, very tough matchup for them. The biggest thing is when you look at the national level, the area that I always look at is the kills per set, but the hitting percentage. So when you look at St. Xavier's kills per set, 11.86, that's below 12 kills per set, but their hitting percentage of 147, that tells me that they're hitting a lot of balls out of play. Yeah. And I'm just going to tell you against Northwestern.
Well, okay,
you have to keep things in play, and their hitting percentage is going to come back to haunt them.
There's an obvious thing that's going to happen here with Northwestern, and that's not to write off. David can always beat Goliath, right? But
absolutely on any given day.
Here's an interesting point, and it appears that the factoid is right, but non-conference opponent for Northwestern this year was University of Iowa.
Yeah,
they went 3-2.
Yeah, that's Big Ten.
Scary.
Yeah. They're good, John. They're very, very good.
All right, we're going to go to number 3, Concordia University, the Bulldogs of Concordia.
Bulldogs.
They get matched up with Florida National, the Conquistadors.
Great mascot.
Yeah. So Concordia, we've already said it.
Yep.
Like they're the top 2 teams here, and
15-1, 24-3. And if you
I'm looking through that conference deal, but so Florida National, you see them at the top. They're less than 500 team.
Less than 500. They get in because they win their conference.
Yep. And you get to play
regular season.
Yeah, you get to play a national championship caliber team.
That's part of being in the NAIA. They get that. They earn that berth.
Yeah. Run the Concordia. See if you can run the schedule real quick. Is there a schedule attached to that?
Click on game log.
Yeah.
Their only loss is to Eastern Oregon and
and
Northwestern.
That's 3-0.
Yeah.
Click
and
on
Midland.
that 3-0,
Midland.
please, guys. Eastern Oregon.
There you go. That one right there.
Yeah, you're on it.
There.
Eastern Oregon.
Yeah.
And
25-19, 25-18, 25-21.
Yeah.
Competitive, but when you look at 6 and 7 point spreads and 4 point spreads, Concordia lost to a very strong Eastern Oregon team. At that time, Eastern Oregon was 7-0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's
good numbers to look at
early on, and I'm sure Concordia has grown as well.
Yep.
So these are top tier teams playing against some of the guys that just kind of made it in and really had a hand at knocking out maybe some of the other better teams like you were talking about.
Absolutely.
And that's just kind of the way
it's the
goes.
way that those numbers work.
I see no path really for, and this is not to give anybody no hope, but I'm just saying I see no path that Concordia would lose.
I've been singing all day long the Michael English song, I'll be holding out hope to you. Yeah, that's going to be a stretch for them. Yeah.
Number 4, Indiana Wesleyan University, the Wildcats, face off against I like to memorize, and I didn't know this team, Stevens College, the Stars of Stevens College. Mm-hmm. Well, they got in, and again, kind of as a winner of a conference, and they get to play. Are they the reigning? Is India who won last year?
Indiana's reigning national champion back-to-back years. Yeah, they're looking at a potential three-peat. Yeah. And I'll tell you, Indiana Wesleyan, if you go look at the all-time winners in the NAIA, Candace Moats, most wins of any active coach.
Oh, wow.
That is still coaching. Yeah, and they do a good job of keeping up that list because I went and looked at it, and my name's not on there anymore because I'm not active.
Yeah.
But Candace Moats, first time I saw her coach was in 2005 We were at the NCCAA National Tournament in St. Paul, Minneapolis, and I watched Indiana Wesleyan play, and I thought, man, this is the best coach team I've seen all year. And there you see
Concordia beat them.
Concordia beat
Bellevue
them
beat 'em.
in 3, and
Viterbo.
Bellevue beat them, and Viterbo. They have 3 tough losses early, but when you get past September,
Yeah.
I don't think they lost again. But they're they're a team that
One time, Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon. There you go. Mount Vernon Nazarene. There's their signature win in October against.
I think there are a lot of teams except for Cumberlands that had kind of this mid-season letdown.
Yeah.
Just you know, you blink one time and you face off against an opponent that's seen you before,
right?
And they wake up that day, and then you can take a L. And I think that's kind of a common story that has happened to a lot of teams. I generally don't ding a team
for a loss.
That.
Yeah,
not like that. Not when it's a one-off.
Yeah.
Like if you show a pattern, a trend, then we need to talk about it. But that loss means absolutely nothing, and it really shouldn't be counted too much against Indiana Wesleyan. I think you're right. I think they're in line to try to go get that three-peat, and it's going to be fun. But they got to get past Stevens College to get to Sioux City. Go look. It's 29-4 against a 16-16, a 500 team. Indiana Wesleyan did not drop a conference game, 18-0.
Yeah,
and they're at 13.
They lost one, and that was their last loss. Yeah, Mount Vernon. That was their only conference loss.
Oh, was it? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah, that was a conference.
I wrote
loss.
that down wrong then. Pardon me, but so hitting 13 kills a set. 13 kills per set.
Or was it 14?
Is it?
He can go back to that sheet.
No, it's just strong.
Yeah, 14.
14. Oh my goodness.
14 kills per set and hitting percentage 228. That's a surprising number to me. The 228. I thought it would be a lot higher with 14. But 2 blocks per set, and that's a very, very strong team.
Very strong. All right. Next up is the number 5 Corbin University Warriors. They're going to play Fisk University, which I know nothing about, and the Lady Bulldogs. They're in Tennessee, and this is some. How do you feel about Corbin?
Well, Corbin, year in and year out, I watched them last year make it to the semifinals of the NAIA National Tournament. They're a strong team. They're very well coached. They're in the conference of Eastern Oregon and Bushnell College of Idaho. They've got some really strong teams that are in that conference, but you're looking at Corbin, 17-3 in conference, 24-5. I would imagine their other 2 losses are going to be against top 5 teams, maybe top 10, but they're a strong team.
Yeah,
they're
historically
a strong team. Absolutely.
So I don't know that I would have put them at 5, but definitely, they're like a top 8 team for me, and top 5 here, in reality.
Yeah.
So
the thing that put them into the top 5 is going to be their strength of schedule. They had the 4th,
as we talked about,
4th strongest strength of schedule.
Yeah,
number 4 in the country, but I think those numbers are a little goofy.
They're
13.74 kills per set, 234 hitting percentage.
That's good.
Yeah.
So good luck to Fisk University and the Lady Bulldogs.
Yep.
Congratulations on making
the national tournament.
That is a huge deal, and go get them.
Yeah,
just
there
go
you
get them.
go.
All right, we'll move on to. I don't see any upsets in the top 5.
No, I don't either, John. And I think that your upsets are a couple away. But we're looking at number 6 is Providence.
Yep.
and Providence is a very strong program. Now, if you go to their schedule, they're 21-1 in conference, 31-2 overall, and their losses to, I believe, Eastern Oregon. But stop for just a second. I wanted to look at, if you look on August 22nd, Providence played a little school called Nelson University.
Oh, wow.
And they beat Nelson 3-1. Can we look at those scores? 25-18. Nelson beat them 25-18, 25-16, 25-16, 25-22. And that was one of those matches that Nelson made a trip to Montana and played against a top 6 team in this tournament. And the funny thing is we're looking at the Nelson team that we know are getting ready to play is not even that same group. 30 minutes before the very first game, gets a call and says, "Hey, don't play your top player."
Wow. Who said that?
Dr. Goding called Nicholas and said, don't play a young lady. So he didn't, and she ended up not being there. But, this gives us a picture of how close all of those teams, 30, 38, 39 to number 6.
Yeah.
Those are some very, very strong teams.
I have some questions about that whole
Okay.
preseason or pre-conference season stuff. I'll save it towards the end, but I'd like to get your opinion on, how, why. But I agree. Providence is like to
Very
me they
strong.
were top 5.
And Northwest, they're out of Washington.
In the Cascade.
And can we look at theirs? They'll pull up their conference stuff. There we go. Yeah, they're Northwestern down there. They're 9-11 in conference play, and they're 16-12 overall.
Yeah.
So they played a total 28 matches.
I got a little issue with Northwest. I'm glad for them, glad for anybody that gets in, however you get in. But I just really don't think they took somebody's spot.
They did. They got in that large bid, and you're looking at a team that they're pretty far down in RPI.
Yeah.
The only thing that got them in, John, has to be strength of schedule.
That is
the only
ambiguous
reason.
type of figure.
Yep.
Yeah, it can be manipulated, and there's just like. It's that kind of stuff that really drives me crazy.
Yeah.
And,
well, here we are. They're 69 in the RPI. Their strength of schedule is 41.
Yeah.
Their opponents losing record in conference. Their opponents. Winning percentage is .538. Their opponents win percentage is .556, and you're looking at, when we were talking about 15 teams that have numbers enough that they had a watch party, and their team did not show up. And I promise when this one showed up, that there were some people upset.
Yeah.
And I get it. And yet, congratulations to the process.
This is
one.
Northwest fans, save the hate mail, because we're trying to split some hairs here and make some sense out of things, because you got to remember there are a lot of teams. There was a lot of bubble teams, and you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8
in your conference. Yeah,
like 8.
Where did they land?
What?
Where did they land in their arc?
Like there's no conference that would ever deserve 8 teams.
Mm-hmm. Where did they land in their arc, James? You see that? Okay.
And
that's the West.
They're 9.
They're 9 in their arc. Yeah. So you're looking over at the other
Yep.
arcs and go, these teams are a little higher, or they should have been higher. Or, yeah, it's tough. But looking at criteria, where they landed in the RPI and where they landed with their strength of schedule. Their strength of schedule is 41. I'm surprised they got them enough points to get in, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, they got
It
in,
is there.
but
That's why,
and they're playing this matchup against Providence. Providence comes in the obviously stronger team in this. They're going to. The debate door is wide open, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, as they say. But the fact of it is, that's messy.
That's messy.
That's real messy, and I think that's got to get cleaned up in the future. Yeah. There's just no way that should be able to happen. So I'm picking Providence. And the 22-8 is what was no. I'm sorry. Providence record is we know.
Here it comes.
There it is.
Yeah, they were 21-1 in conference, 31-2.
Yeah.
All year. Great team.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. So I don't know that there's too much narrative that we need to break down in that. That looks like an obvious win for Providence. Again, all for David beating Goliath. I love that. Go play hard. Number 7, Bellevue. Bellevue's an interesting one. They're kind of historically very, very strong.
Yep.
And you can see.
There we go.
Had a really good season. Really, hitting 242.
They opened up with a loss to College of Idaho.
Very
and
good
that
team.
that's one of the signature wins that College of Idaho is holding on to of an argument of why they deserve to be in.
Yeah. What about? Yeah. So, good wins there for Bellevue. Mount Vernon. I mean, I would expect them to beat Mount Vernon. Dakota Wesleyan. Yes. I mean,
they beat Indiana Wesleyan 3-0.
Yeah, but then you follow that up with Indiana Wesleyan, so you're sweeping people, and then you come and drop one to Dickinson State.
Yep, 3-0. 3-2. I apologize. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's one of those. I don't think it's a pattern. I think it's just it happens.
Yep.
And you let down your guard.
And let's also remember Bellevue played in the NAIA National Tournament championship match last year.
Did they?
That's who Indiana Wesleyan played, and they lost in a 5-set match.
Oh wow!
I think the score was something like 16-14.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great match.
Yeah, much respect to the number 7 Bellevue. I think they're right there in that zone where they should be. They've got a lot of notable wins, and a couple of blips on the screen. But who doesn't have that? Except Cumberlands.
There you go. That's who does it.
Yeah. So I don't see. Columbia College, not a bad team really at all. 17-1 in conference. They did lose 14 times, but obviously that came outside.
It came outside of their conference.
So they had to play some tough teams. And, do you ding them for playing tough teams? Your conference does not have a strong, what we would say as a strong season.
Stevens is in, but when you're looking at the other schools that are in that conference, Columbia is the stronger team in that conference. They're They're historically, and believe it or not, John, whether we think that's right or wrong, historically matters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No,
I look at Columbia, and I think Columbia could make this a very competitive match.
This might be the first one that we see that we go, this is going to be interesting. I give it to Bellevue, but I do think it's not as much David and Goliath.
No, when I'm looking at RPI, Columbia was 103. Their strength of schedule was 167.
Yeah, well, that plays into those.
Yeah, their opponents' win number was .46. So, for Columbia to be where they're at, number-wise, I think that's accurate. I think that's a very accurate place for them. But I think they will be competitive against Bellevue.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to be an easy win. They could win in 3-0, but it's still. I think it's going to be a little bit of a fight.
I think sometimes we get a little confused and say it wasn't a close match. They won 3-0. But, man, when you go back and look at set scores, 25-21, 25-22, 20, those are close matches. Yeah. And the one team wins in 3. And some people think that's not a close match. It is.
Yeah.
It still is.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to I think a hot topic one.
Yeah.
Right here.
Absolutely.
This is our first hot topic, and I think your relationship with Texas Wesleyan and the Sooner Athletic Conference. You are probably
and my and I have very good relationship with KCAC coaches and McPherson's head coach Corey he's a young man. He's a great young man. He's a great coach. He works his tail off. 31-2, 13-0 in their conference. My biggest issue with this number. I think that they should have been higher. I think they're a top 5 team.
McPherson.
Yes, sir.
You better believe
they
it.
didn't get there.
Yeah.
But, we go back to their opponent. They are a close opponent for us. I mean, they're in our conference, Texas Wesleyan University. You can go to that screen and look at their numbers. Texas Wesleyan loses in conference play twice. They're 20-2. They're 25-7 overall. They lost in their conference tournament championship game. And I wonder if the committee even looked at the score of that match. And that was an 18-16 match in a 5-set. But Texas Wesleyan to drop to the number that they dropped to, that I have a problem with that. In that, they were 27 in the RPI, and their strength of schedule is 72, and there have been teams that have a easier schedule that got higher numbers, and I think Texas Wesleyan got dinged, and that's my opinion. I think they're not number 37. I think they're probably 20. No, I think 26 maybe.
I think that makes them 41.
You're right.
There's no way they're number 41.
They're 41 in this, and there's no way in the world that they're 41.
That's not even close.
The fun thing that I've been working on in my mind today, looking at this matchup, McPherson and Texas Wesleyan, they've already played each other once. It's going to be a very good match. Wesleyan averages almost 13 or 12.77 kills per set, hitting .211. But the thing that I was going to say about them, Texas Wesleyan last year got a bad draw as well.
Who'd they play?
They got sent to Bellevue.
Oh, yeah.
The funny thing.
The runner-ups.
The runner-ups. Well, but that opening round match last year between Texas Wesleyan and Bellevue, Bellevue beat Texas Wesleyan opening round in 5 sets. That was a 5-set match.
Wow.
And so you're looking at, had Wesleyan gotten a more favorable ranking last year, they're not going to Bellevue and they're not out in the first round. I think they were a team.
Yeah.
There were, we were at that national tournament and there were several teams there that Texas Wesleyan beats at that national tournament that were made it to the final site.
Yeah.
And so when I look at Texas Wesleyan matching up with McPherson, I think that is a match, John, that everybody needs to have on their radar. There's a very strong potential upset there.
Yeah, and McPherson will not go into that match going, "Oh, we beat them earlier." I don't think it will be a thing. It shouldn't be a thing.
No, it won't be. He'll be prepared.
Yeah, and I think McPherson is a top 3 team. They're explosive.
They are. And they've got hitters all the way around.
I could see them running the table. To me, it's a travesty that a team as good as Texas Wesleyan, there's just no sensibility for why they would have to play such a top-tier team like McPherson in round 1. This is round 1.
I agree with that, and I won't argue with you on that. I had McPherson in top 5. I think they're a top 5 team, but I also had Texas Wesleyan. I had them considerably higher than what the committee put them. But I didn't
put
have
them at the 29-30 mark.
Yeah,
But that's me.
But that puts them, if they're 30, they're playing Viterbo at 19. They're not playing number 8. Yeah. So that is what it is, and that's one of the matchups in this whole bracket that we're looking at going,
Yeah, that's it.
And I'll quote a great philosopher.
Circle that one and try to watch it. I'm sure it'll be because that's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, a great philosopher. My grandson would go,
Yeah.
So
things that make you go, All right, Cumberlands, another head scratcher to me. I've been a little bit of Cumberlands lover this year, and I think I get it. You're not going to give the respect to the conference. There's a difference between not giving due respect and then just disrespecting.
Yeah.
And I think putting Cumberlands at 9 is just plain disrespectful.
Yeah.
Well,
and the reason that they're at 9 is their RPI is 10, their strength of schedule is 97. And the strength of schedule thing just kind of makes me go crazy.
Well, so you say that, but it works when you want it to, right? We've seen plenty of RPI strength of schedule where it was bad, and then they leapfrog.
Yeah,
it didn't matter. So you only why are you a team that goes undefeated? Let them prove to you that they're bad. Don't make them prove to you that they're good. It is so enormously hard.
Oh, it is.
To go undefeated.
You're right. 34-0, 12-0 in conference. And that's a conference that is not a bad conference. That's a good conference. 13.89 kills per set. Look at the hitting percentage. I think this is the first time we've seen this hitting percentage. 318.
Yeah.
And what that means is they just don't hit the ball out of bounds. And they don't get blocked very often.
James, scroll the there you go.
Yeah, look at all those zeros. Indiana Tech took them to 5.
Yeah. That was
and
early.
Montana Tech took them to 3-1.
So you've got 3 set losses. Keep scrolling. 4.
There's a 1-set win over Aquinas.
Aquinas pretty good.
Took
too.
a set from them. Yeah, they're a top 15.
4. So you got 4 set losses in just do the math. 34 times 3. 12, 3, 9, 100,
104.
100.
Is that right? 102.
You played 104. You won 104 sets. You lost 4 of them.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
No.
You
You
played
played 106. 106 sets.
108.
108 sets and lost 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Pretty good year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to ding a team like that.
Nope. You can't ding a team like that. And
so
they're
instant top 5.
They're in this tournament. They're a top 10 and could be a top 5. But the hard thing, and I've done this. I'll have a girl come in and talk to me and say, Coach, I need to be playing. And I look at her in the eyes and say, I understand. Let's look at your position.
Mm-hmm.
Who plays your position? Which one of those 3 would you think I should sit? So when we're looking at, Cumberlands could be a top 5. Now the hard question is, John, which one of those teams in the top 5 you could replace them with? That's where the play comes in.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I'm replacing both of the the Cascade teams. I've watched too many of those games.
Yeah.
It's there's like I say, there's a fine line between not giving due respect and then being disrespectful.
Yeah.
This kind of feels disrespectful. All right, next is and I'm gonna give the nod to Cumberlands to be.
Yeah, I agree. And Columbia International, they're in a conference out there, and they're winning that thing consistently.
Yeah,
they're a good program, and I've seen the young lady.
Definitely one of the better in the region.
Absolutely, it's a good regional school.
Yep. Oklahoma. Okay, this is going to be. I don't know if to save this for last or not, but this is obviously going to be some bias for you because this is your ladies.
Yeah.
Nelson University having to fight it, duke it out. This is another one. Circle it because this should be a Sioux City matchup, not a round 1 matchup. And I'm going to say, okay, so how did you find a way to put Nelson at 39? Rank them 39? They're number 1 in their arc.
They're number 1 in the arc. They won their conference. They won their conference tournament.
RPI.
25 in the RPI. Their strength of schedule is 49.
Yeah.
But we've seen teams with a strength of schedule that's worse than that are jumping people. Yeah. This makes zero.
Yeah, and I know it's hard for you to make the argument because of where you stand.
It is,
so
it makes zero sense though to match up 2 teams that are in the same region. Even if you use the thought of we're going to save Nelson money by sending them only to Bartlesville.
That's not a thing.
I don't think that's a thing.
That is, no one's going to buy that one.
Yeah, and when we look at Nelson having to play Oklahoma Wesleyan, and this is a statement that I'll make, and I love the NAIA, but to me this is a disrespect.
Very disrespectful.
Not just to Nelson.
Yeah.
But also to Oklahoma Wesleyan, because Oklahoma Wesleyan is going, ooh, we played them earlier and they didn't have 2 of their players playing.
Yeah, that's exactly my thought there is that I don't know who got disrespected more here.
I don't
because
either.
You got to go. I know Oklahoma Wesleyan and Nelson faced off early on.
Yeah.
And Nelson's got a whole different team now.
Pretty much.
And on a absolute roll.
Yeah.
And only lost 3 sets out of their last 36 sets.
Yeah.
And
2 of those 3 were in the conference championship game to Texas Wesleyan.
So you've got to be. I don't, terrified's not a good word, but just
No.
dismayed by this is my round one.
There you go.
This is
John.
this
Did you
is my
see what
round
he
one.
pulled up there? Yeah, and we played them in September.
Wow. That's
Oklahoma
amazing.
Wesleyan beat Nelson 3 straight sets. But we said earlier,
Look at
look at the set scores. 25-22, 26-24, 25-21. That is not the matchup for an opening round
It really isn't.
national tournament game.
Yeah, it really isn't. And especially if you do know the Lions story about how
right.
they're not even the same team.
They're not.
It's a whole
It's
different.
a total different game.
Yeah.
You know, we're looking at, you know, the thought process of Oklahoma Wesleyan. They are who they won their conference.
Yep.
Tournament. They're
So
a very strong team.
Yep.
You know, and they could look at their rankings and say we could have been higher.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I have no problem with them at 10.
Yeah, no, 10 is a good spot, but there is an argument of why would they open up with Nelson? Well, they've got Nelson at 39.
Yeah. I mean, why
And
would you have, let's just ding Nelson, you know, whatever you do, and say they're a 25th type team, which I think would be, you know, somewhere between 20 and 25 is a very legitimate spot for their ranking. And you're pitching round one for the number 10 team.
Yeah.
I'm just upset if I'm the number 10 team.
Yeah.
And I got to play round one against the top 25 team.
And you can look at the away teams, and in the away teams, there's 2 teams that are ranked higher than Nelson from our arc, that in our arc were below us. And you're looking at Dillard and A&M-Texarkana.
Just go to the 11 and Rio matchup there, the next one.
Yeah, the next matchup is
both
Rio.
of those are ranked higher than Nelson and Texas Wesleyan.
Yeah, and
I mean, how?
There's no. It just doesn't make sense. But it is what it is, and so what, you know, looking at the draw for Nelson, it's a tough draw, but I'm going to tell you their mindset is they're okay with that draw, because they're going to go in there and they're going to play their.
Well, you have to. There's no they can't do what we're doing.
They can't.
And armchairing, you know, sitting back.
Yep.
Yeah, you got a game you got to go win.
That's
right.
That's right.
And you know, no matter what we say, you still have to play that game. So, and Oklahoma Wesleyan, same position. I'm the initial frustration with that, I'm sure, hit, but now they're neck deep into preparation.
Yep.
And it's going to happen. And I would circle that up on your calendar that day, as if you're looking around trying to find good volleyball streams to watch.
That's going to be a fun one to watch.
You better know that one. That one's going to be unbelievably good.
Oklahoma Wesleyan has probably one of the very best players in the entire field. I mean, their outside hitter is special.
Yeah, can you go to James? Can you navigate to?
There you go. There she is.
Oh, she's
Evelyn Roberg.
5.5 kills per set.
533 kills on the season. They've set her 1,074 times.
Poor girl.
Yeah, nah, she's okay. Yeah, her hitting percentage is .361. She's a first-team All-American. She as a freshman was NAIA Freshman of the Year.
Yeah. No, we've watched her. She is unbelievably
She's very
special.
And then, you know,
they got that whole team is really
they're
ridiculous.
good. They're very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fun. It's gonna be fun.
They could make a run at it too.
They could.
Make no mistake. It's going to be a fun Sioux City to watch, you know, no matter whether it's Nelson or, you know, Oklahoma Wesleyan, you know, if it's I mean, Yeah, that is a real uphill battle for Texas Wesleyan. That we're not in David Goliath territory,
No, but
it's an uphill battle,
yeah,
no doubt for
yep.
Texas Wesleyan. But then you see some of these others like Mount Vernon, Rio Grande. I think that's another one that's going to got to keep your eye on. That's not an easy win for the higher seeded team. Let's look into that real quick. Mount Vernon and Rio Grande. By the way, in women's basketball, one of my favorite announcers, not the Dort announcer, women's basketball, is the most amazing NAIA announcer there is. And he's a radio guy, but I'm the coach at Rio Grande, and we're talking volleyball, but this is a basketball. I just remember little things about these schools. They're a lot of fun to watch on their stream. They do a good job on the stream, but their announcer is just
funny.
He's a ball.
Yeah.
He is absolutely a riot.
Well, looking at Rio Grande, they were 11-5 in conference, 26-12 on the season. I'm looking at a lot of the schools that they play. That's close to my home that I grew up in, right around. IU East is right there in Richmond, Indiana, 30 minutes from my house, and IU Columbus is going to be good. IU Kokomo in that conference is really good. We'll talk about them in a few minutes, but Rio Grande gets in just simply because of making it to a conference final.
Yeah. Yeah, and good for them. I mean, they're showing strength here at the end. So Mount Vernon, good team.
Very good team.
But, are they number 11?
I don't know. Yeah, they are.
Oh,
that's what the committee said. They're 25-8. They 14-4 in their conference. They're in a strong conference. Indiana Wesleyan's very good. Taylor's good. Huntington's good.
Yeah.
Marion's good. Bethel, Indiana, historically is pretty good. They're 500 this year, but Mount Vernon, Nazarene. I remember the team from last year even. Some of these teams, I go back, a lot of years, John, over 20 years ago. The first time I saw Mount Vernon, Nazarene play, and man, they were incredible. They were at the NCCAA National Tournament.
Wow. And
they're a strong program, very strong program.
Yeah.
Almost 13 kills per set, 229 hitting percentage. The blocks, 1.79. They're going to be a very competitive team. That match though with Rio Grande, that may be one that we watch closely because that's
could be
potential.
Upset.
It's
material.
A potential upset.
All right,
yeah.
all right.
They played early. They played early in August, and Mount Vernon beat them 3-1. Can we look at those scores, James? Thank you, buddy.
Oof.
Man, 25-10, 25-17. 26-24, 27-25. You look at those last two sets, those two teams are going to battle. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun one to watch.
That will be a ton of fun. Wow.
Yeah.
When it's all on the line, you got to stay alive by winning.
Yep.
You go home if you lose. So that's all right.
That's
I'm
an upset
that
alert.
One.
Upset alert.
Yeah, I'm marking that one down. That's a good one. All right, next one is number 12, Missouri Baptist and Dillard University. I don't know much. These are two that I haven't seen footage on, and other than just looking at the stats, I just kind of have to take it at face value. But
Missouri Baptist has had a great end of the season run, and they're a strong team. Dillard is one of those teams, John, that we talked about a minute ago, how they jumped above Nelson and Texas Wesleyan, and there's no rhyme or reason for that because their strength of schedule wasn't there, their RPI wasn't there. Just very little sense to me of how that happened. But I think Missouri Baptist is going to be the team that'll take care of that run there, Dillard.
Yeah, they had a very strong year in the heart, and
it's a good conference.
Yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, that's a really good conference.
That's a good conference.
All right, I'm gonna pick Mobap there.
Yep, me too.
13, Indiana Kokomo.
Playing Reinhardt in Georgia.
So I know a little more about the River States and that area of schools. I tend to watch more streams of them. I don't know a ton about Reinhardt. I would just say that Kokomo has got a lot of good playing experience. So,
and they're very, very well coached. I sat and talked to their coach last year at the NAIA National Tournament, and they're going to be a juggernaut in that tournament. I've got IU Kokomo winning that match, and Reinhardt's had a great year though, 17-2 in conference and 29-7 on the season. Good team. Very good team, but I think that they're going to run into a team that's just a little bit stronger.
A lot of 2-loss teams in conference.
Yeah.
3 there. Wow. That was a very competitive conference.
Yeah. When you look at Reinhardt, Reinhardt was 52 in the RPI and 155 in strength of schedule, and yet again, they're ahead of Texas Wesleyan and Nelson University. Some of these numbers.
That's a head scratcher.
Yeah, it is. Now, granted, they, 29-7.
Okay, here's another one I think you're, because I know some of the numbers on this, but number 14, the Masters University is going to be playing a team, Texas A&M-Texarkana, and they're not a Sooner Athletic Conference team at Texas A&M,
right?
But they're very close to the
River,
and so you do get to see them a lot.
Yep.
And
we played them.
I believe both teams beat Texarkana this year.
Yes. Yeah. And both of the Wesleyan and Nelson beat Texarkana.
Yeah, and you have them third in the arc.
Third in the arc. Their RPI was 28. Their strength of schedule was 125. Wesleyan was 27 RPI and 72 strength of schedule. Nelson was 25 RPI and 49 strength of schedule, yet Texarkana jumps both of them in the seeding for this tournament. But I will tell you, Texarkana has some great athletes, and I mean they can play. And the Masters is ranked number 14 in the tournament. That could be.
James, can you bring up the Masters Conference?
Yeah, they won their conference. Yeah, they were out there with Ottawa, Arizona. And Arizona Christian, Life Pacific. When you look at Ottawa, Arizona, they were one of those 15 teams watching, going, we got a chance, and they did. But numbers are what they are, I guess. But the Masters, 23-3 on the season, 14-2 in their conference, very strong program. Coach's poll had them at 11. In the RPI, they were 14, and they had the 63. They ranked number 63 in the strength of schedule. So even their strength of schedule wasn't as good as Nelson's. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, there's a theme here.
There is a theme, and I think in that
I hear
match,
you. I hear the theme.
In that match, I think it's going to be a stretch for Texarkana. one of the fun things for Texarkana is, though, they're going to get on an airplane. They're going to go to California. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
So in years to come, they're going to tell their children, I played volleyball in California.
All right, so let's go to 15. And we kind of started picking, so
I'm picking the Masters.
My heart wants to go with Texarkana,
yeah.
but I do think the Masters
the
will
Masters
pull that one out. Yeah. Number 15, Aquinas. The Saints of Aquinas College, which I've seen them play a couple times, and I've heard some really good things about Aquinas. They get to face off against Lindsey Wilson, the Blue Raiders.
The Blue Raiders.
And it's good. Lindsey Wilson is historically a good school for athletics.
Yep, very strong.
And
they have a first year, a new coach this year at Lindsey Wilson. But I'm going to tell you that fella can coach. He's a great coach. He'll have those girls prepared to play, and he'll know his opponent inside out. He'll be able to tell you who we're looking at, who we're going to have to slow down, and
so he just had his first year. He had to run into the juggernaut.
He ran into the juggernaut. We played them early, or they played at our place. And Lindsey Wilson's a good quality program. They're in Kentucky. They're in the same conference as Cumberlands.
And I meant to say this a little while ago, but the numbers that you see beside the teams like the 14 in Cumberlands,
that's
the
poll.
Old coach's poll, the old one. I should say the last one.
The last one.
But it feels outdated now since we know the different rankings. So don't pay attention to that number necessarily. Lindsey Wilson, Aquinas, they come in. Can we see some of the stats on those two? Let's see if we could get an educated. I don't know that I feel strong one way or the other. I probably will lean because I've seen Aquinas a little more, but it'd be unfair because I don't really have a good eyesight test for Lindsey Wilson. So scroll through that.
Well,
schedule.
when I looked at it, Lindsey Wilson was 21 in the RPI, 37 strength of schedule. Aquinas was 16 and 56. Those are two teams that are fairly evenly matched. Lindsey Wilson's strength of schedule stronger than is Aquinas's. But
look at there. They played in September 6th. They played Lindsey Wilson, and that was, other than set number 3, that's a pretty fun game.
That's a fun game, and Aquinas won that 15-8. Yeah.
Wow. I'm just digesting those numbers there. Aquinas hit 500 in set 3. And a minus 107 for Lindsey Wilson. Yeah. They just took a set off.
They took a set off. They stayed in the huddle, John. He didn't get them back on the floor. They lost set 2, and I didn't see that match, but I'm just looking at it in my mind going, those numbers look like Aquinas made a run to win set 2. And it blew the momentum out of the sails of Lindsey Wilson for set 3. They regrouped and took set 4. And then in set 5, Aquinas just didn't make as many errors. And I didn't see the game, but I would say
your intuition that you're seeing numbers.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
That's going to be one of the better opening round games.
I think so, man. Now that I'm really seeing this,
that I'll watch on my phone.
Little revenge thing here, and Lindsey Wilson. They go, hey, we don't drop. We don't go to sleep in set 3. This is
it's a different story,
and you learn from that. And that's September 6th. This is now. I'm sure these teams have really
Yeah.
come a long way.
And both of those teams have probably
Okay.
gotten better as the season goes.
All
But
right. We're
John,
gonna.
I'm going to pick an upset.
Are you?
I am, and I
LW.
love Aquinas. I
Yeah.
just think they're a great program. But I'm gonna pick Lindsey Wilson to win that match.
All right. Well, I'm gonna
am.
go Aquinas just to
Okay.
be the contrarian.
There we
but
go.
Now that I've seen the numbers, I
Yeah.
suspicion you might be right.
I'm gonna pull for my friend.
All right. Yeah, that's good. All right, we're gonna go 16 St. Thomas Loyola. Loyola is a team you're familiar with.
Yep.
And
Down in New Orleans.
yeah, they've been one of the powerhouses down in the deep South.
There you go.
And then you have St. Thomas, the winner of the Sun Conference.
Yep.
And
watched St. Thomas play 3 times last year in Sioux City, Iowa, and boy, I'm gonna tell you, they were really, really, really good. Yeah.
I'm also seeing Southeastern there. The Southeastern didn't get in, did they?
John, Southeastern was one of those 15 schools that had a watch party. I guarantee you they had a watch party, and they were fully expecting to see their name called.
With that record and the stats to go along.
But my numbers were way off because Nelson dropped to 39. I had Nelson at 25. I had Southeastern at 26.
Wow.
I had them right there, and they didn't get in. And part of that being number 2 in their conference, I would have thought they would have gotten in, but they didn't. And
yeah, I didn't have Southeastern quite that high, but I thought they were going to make it in and probably have an uphill road to play one of the top 10 teams. They were a really good team. I mean, St. Thomas and Southeastern, the 2 leaders of the Sun.
Yeah.
And
there you go.
It's kind of
St. Thomas
crazy.
Is very good. They have 17 RPI, the 67 on the strength of schedule. Good program, and I think they deserve to be right where they're at in the national tournament. That's about the range that I picked them. I think I had them at 17.
So I'm gonna pick St. Thomas.
Yeah, I am
think
too.
they're very strong.
Yep, I think St. Thomas is going to beat Loyola. Midland versus Grandview.
Number 17 Midland and Grandview. Man, Grandview is just such a historically strong sports school.
Yep.
And there's some conditioning that goes along with when your school is yes, we're talking about volleyball, but that is like winning kind of transcends from sport to sport at some of these schools because there's a lot of emphasis and there's just a ton of weight at which these student athletes carry to perform, and Grandview is one of those that consistently perform year in and year out.
Yep.
And they figure out how to win things. So to me, they're always scary.
Yeah.
And for Midland to have to go against the number 1 team in the conference.
They're the top team in their conference, 17-1, 28-4, where Grandview, where they fell to where they're at, their RPI was 39, their strength of schedule is 157.
Whatever.
And so when you're looking at that, that's where they fell. And Midland, this is the stat of the day. Midland's 18 RPI. Number 1, strength of schedule is Midland. So if you go back and look at their conference, if we can look, there you go. Right there it is. Midland, they get the number 1 strength of schedule overall. They're 18-10, but they're in the same conference as Northwestern, Concordia, Dillard, Dakota Wesleyan. It's a very strong GPAC historically in
Yeah.
volleyball is probably one of the strongest conferences, if not the strongest conference in the country.
Yeah.
But it's been a while since they've won a national championship.
Yeah.
But you go back and look at Midland.
Was it 3 years ago Northwestern was in it, or
actually the team that won it, the last champion to come out of the Great Plains, I believe, was Jamestown.
oh really?
Yeah, I think that's right. I may be wrong. I've been wrong once. I don't know it's been today, but I've been wrong once. But no, that Midland is a very good team, and looking at comparing those two schools, I'm leaning towards Midland being there just simply because of their RPI rating and their strength of schedule. They've played a tougher schedule, but man, Grandview had a great year. Look at their
I'm going
number
with
where
Grandview.
Are you going with Grandview?
Yeah. I'm going with Grandview. I do think that the GPAC should be ranked the number one conference in all the in the 19 conferences in volleyball.
Okay, even above Cascade and
There's it's not even close. But you give me.
It's fun.
I mean, Eastern Oregon, great. They're going to do what they do. But
And Corbin's good. They're all
Corbin's
good.
great. But now after that,
Yeah.
it's like 2 against the top 4 or 5.
There
on
you go.
GPAC. So, yeah, give me GPAC, bro.
Okay.
And I'm not, I'm not the biggest GPAC lover. I get my most hate. The most hate mail I get
It's
is
from the
morning,
GPAC.
from Morningside,
Morningside,
and the
yeah.
GPAC.
They won't be hating on you this year. They were 7-9 in conference, 14-14.
Yeah, well, and I'm not even saying in volleyball.
Yeah.
But,
No, it comes back to the thought process of who's ranked where by numbers, and we both agree that a lot of the numbers and the strength of schedule is so easily manipulated or even predetermined before we ever play.
Yeah,
strength of schedule is kind of
it's
impressive.
really it's hard to wrap your brain around that being a super accurate type of statistic that you put so much weight on it. You got to put weight on it. I'm not saying don't, but I think it's overweighted.
Yep.
And we'll see. Well, these teams are going to play
We'll
the
find
hearts
out.
out. I'm marking Midland, Grandview.
You got Grandview in that match.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we have definitely disagreed on some of these. I like it.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay. 18 Bushnell, MidAmerica Nazarene.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not even going to look at the stats, or
Okay.
I'm just going right to the chase.
Okay. Who
I
you
got MNAS.
You got MNAS.
I got MNAS. So
Yeah. I'm trying to look at a number, and what's funny is these schools are up there ranking wise, and I'm looking at trying to find them now. Bushnell RPI is number 47. Their RPI is 47. Their strength of schedule is 40. And they're hosting.
I mean, the point has been the point is obvious.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's
It's just
31. MNAS is 31 on the RPI. 53. Yeah. I mean, the distance covered.
Yeah. And if you want to argue with looking at those two schools, they should have flipped.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
probably.
But they, if you're
especially because you got
schools.
record, you got a lot of things. Again, if you overinflate the conference, then things are going to get out of whack.
I'm going to go with you, John. I'm gonna pick MidAmerica Nazarene to upset. It's not really an upset, but they're calling it an upset over Bushnell. I like MidAmerica
Yeah,
Nazarene.
yeah.
They're very well coached. She does a great job with them and a hard worker. I've watched that young lady grow as a coach, and it's fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so we agreed on
Yeah,
an
MidAmerica
upset.
Nazarene, an upset. Yeah, there you go.
Oh boy. Viterbo Huntington. Anything special to know here? I love Crossroads, especially basketball.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm a basketball guy, so I like the style of play that the Indiana teams bring to the table, especially in the NAIA. Um, and I can't say that I know the volleyball system that well out of the Crossroads. They seem to be good,
Yeah.
and like teams can be dangerous. They're not known as one of the elite volleyball conferences,
But they've had the last 2 years national champions has come out of the Crossroads League, and
yeah.
you know I
I mean,
I
if you
yeah.
take Indiana Wesleyan
Away
off the
from that,
table, then
But, Mount Vernon's historically been pretty good. Huntington is sitting in third place in their conference. They're 24-8. When you look at Viterbo, their RPI was 43. Their strength of schedule is 143, and yet they're hosting. They did win their conference. They were ranked number one, I think, in their arc.
Viterbo
But-
is Chicagoland, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. But we know that team because we did get to play them.
Sure.
And,
They ran the table in Chicago.
Sure, 18-0.
Yeah.
And the runner up in there is St. Xavier, and St. Xavier's the one that's playing one, 2, or 3, I believe. And then, but I look at Viterbo, and I'm not sure how well they're going to match up. But Viterbo's they only lost 6 times this year, but their 6 losses were against teams that were pretty highly ranked.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to give them a salute on that they're going out and playing.
Yeah.
If you look at their conference and say that conference isn't as strong as some of the others, Viterbo historically has played top-ranked teams in their non-conference schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I like Viterbo. I think they've got a chance to win that match and move on to Sioux City. By looking at the criteria, RPI, strength of schedule, and the Massey thing, I don't understand that one. But, Viterbo is ranked high compared to what the RPI has them.
I'm kind of looking through any reason I could find to get me off of Viterbo. There's a lot of even stats in the KPIs.
Yeah. 143 strength of schedule. And so when you...
Yeah. Again, I kind of almost don't really bother to look at that too much.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
understand
let that gets in the way.
It
to
does
me.
because it's just not given a true reflection of those two. Can we look at their numbers head to head, where they're going to land statistically?
Yeah, just bring up the team page.
Yeah. Viterbo.
It's probably loading.
Yeah. Yep. There we go.
235.
235
less than
hitting
12.
percentage, less than or 12.
I'm sorry,
12.2.
less than 13.
Blocks. They're a good blocking team.
Yeah, good defense.
Their dig numbers would be higher if their block numbers weren't so high, but that's a team that's there, and when we look at their opponent,
looking strong. Well, playing that tough schedule, I guess a lot of times the argument is if you let it will make you better. You might take the losses, but it can make you better. And it looked like it did because they ran the table.
They ran the table in their conference.
So I'm not seeing enough evidence from Huntington to really pull me off. Yeah, I'm not.
I'm going to stay with Viterbo, John. After looking at the numbers, I think Viterbo wins that match.
Yeah, Viterbo to me is kind of right where they need to be in the scheme of things. It's one of the teams that I think they got right, like where they are, and not a bad matchup.
No.
I think they're. There's an argument you could definitely have one of the Sooner teams.
I think
that.
Either one of the Sooner teams could have fallen in that range. But I didn't have either one of them above 24. But when you look at their strength of schedule, you look at their RPI, both of those teams are higher than Viterbo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. College of Idaho, number 20.
Yep. College of Idaho's RPI was 51. Their strength of schedule was 54. And they're ranked number 20. Yeah. And
again, like I think we thought a lot of College of Idaho at the beginning.
Yep.
And they may not have just panned out the way we thought they were going to, and that's okay, I mean, that kind of stuff happens. They're not a bad team.
No. And they're going to be very well coached.
I think they're a fence team. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're a historically strong school for athletics and things like that. So I like the College of Idaho. I like what they do athletics. I just think they were a fence team. They took a spot away from a team that actually deserved to get in more than they did.
I think they're in the field.
You do? You got them in the field?
I do. I did have them in the field, but I didn't have them in the top 20.
Yeah.
But that's me.
Oh, well, for sure not the top 20. I in the field, I got them way back.
Yeah.
But
but if we're going by RPI and strength of schedule, they're not in that range, but they're there. So we look at their numbers on the year. We look at their hitting percentage, their kills per set, and their 12 kills per set. Their hitting percentage is 183.
Yeah.
2.5 blocks per set are very good. And then their opponents. Bethel, 2.7, 210. I've seen the Bethel team play twice.
Oh, really?
Yep. And they're good. They're very good. They're a very strong team.
I think this could be
this could be one
quote
where
unquote
upset.
Yeah, I don't. It's not an upset, but
I'm picking Bethel to beat College of Idaho.
I think I will too.
And I like both those coaches. They're my friends, but I would pick Bethel. I think they're the stronger team in this situation.
Yeah, I do. I do think KCAC was much better than they got credit for.
Yep, I agree. Yep.
I mean, you even look at Kansas Wesleyan. They ultimately went 500, but they were a pretty decent team.
They were a good team. Yep. Evangel was a team. Look at Evangel, 30-5.
We haven't talked about Evangel's matchup yet.
You're right, and we won't.
That is a travesty.
It's just wrong.
It's just a travesty.
It is.
It's
one of those
make a bigger deal out of this.
That I just, and I 30-5, 11-2 in your conference, and you have a top 10 win. They beat one of the top 10 teams, and it's not enough to get in. I feel bad for their coach.
There's a conference that got 7 in.
Yeah.
And then a conference that's this good, Oklahoma Wesleyan got in, but this conference easily could have gotten 4 teams in.
Yes.
Easily.
They got 3 in and should have gotten, I think, a 4th. I think Evangel should have been in. But they're Yeah.
Another head scratcher.
It is. And if you look at it makes zero sense.
Yeah.
But now their strength of schedule, Evangel's strength of schedule wasn't as good. But they have the signature win over a top 10 opponent.
Well, we've already pointed this out
Yeah.
multiple times, but we saw not good strength of schedules
Yeah.
make,
So it doesn't-
make the bank.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
I guess maybe some of the consistency. One of the frustrations is the lack of consistency.
Yeah.
Of when do you choose to use the SOS, and when you like that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Nope, it doesn't. They're looking at 130
32
strength
on the
of
RPI.
schedule, but they're 32 on the RPI, and
Yeah.
their numbers should have them in.
Travesty.
It is. It's wrong. Well, let's go back to the poll and see who we're picking, John.
Okay, so next is to the 21 matchup, and you picked Bethel. Yeah, I picked
Bethel.
them too.
Yeah.
All right, 21 Mobile University are going to host Marion
Yep.
of Indiana. Okay.
Marion finished the season 18-11, 9-9 in conference. They were in
this
Sioux
auto
City
bid?
last year.
Are they an auto bid team?
No, they're not an auto bid.
But
They're an
please tell me that's not an at-large
Okay, I
team.
won't tell you that then, but it is. They're an at-large team. They're a good team, but they're another
But
team.
Evangel didn't make it.
Yeah, and that 18-11, 9-9 in your
500.
500 in your conference, and Evangel 30-5, and I know the coach at Marion. I've known her for many years. I coached against her. She used to be in our conference when we were in the old Red River Athletic Conference. She coached.
At Evangel or Marion?
Marion's head
Yeah,
coach.
yeah,
I
okay.
coached against her, and I coached against Evangel's coach many times as well. But the coach at Marion, she does a great job. She's been a Division I coach.
Mm-hmm.
Does a great job, but
They're hitting 169.
they're hitting
for the season.
169 and 12.59 kills per set, one and a half blocks. Yep, and their opponents' numbers.
Mobile, which
Mobile.
their opponent is the 21st ranked team.
Yeah,
In this, and hitting a solid almost 250, and blocks per set is significantly better.
yeah.
I'm just digesting all this real quick. They hold their opponents to 123 in hitting percentage. So that's a good efficiency.
Very good number.
Interesting. Go back to their conference, James. Not the Crossroads, but the Southern. Yeah. What a great season they had.
Yeah, had a great season.
What a great season. I don't think you're going to get me off of Mobile here.
Yeah. I'm going to look at a number of Mobile if I can find it. Give me 1 second.
So again, I don't know much about the Southern States.
A lot of times when you're comparing two teams and you're not as familiar, one of the things that I like to look at is I look at hitting percentages and kill per sets, and Mobile's is much higher. But I also want to look at where they are.
Well, they know how to win. There's that factor too.
There's that factor, and looking for them. There we go. Mobile, their RPI is 15. Their strength of schedule is 73. and they're at 21. Head scratcher. But I'm going to pick Mobile in that match strictly because of their RPI. Their numbers are better. They look to be the more consistent team. I'm going to pick Mobile.
Mm.
Yep.
Well, don't get done scratching your head yet.
No, I know. It's coming.
Number 22. So we both got Mobile in 21. Number 22 is Taylor University is hosting Lewis Clark State of Idaho.
Yep. Taylor University, 26 RPI, strength of schedule 16. Those two things together move them up. Their opponent's win percentage is 588, and they're a strong program. And
let's see their conference layout there.
Yeah, they're going to be in that. I think they were number 4 in their conference. 11-7, 20-11 on the season, and then their opponent is Lewis and Clark. Lewis and Clark RPI is 49. And their strength of schedule is 44. Looking at those numbers, you had it up, and I was looking at my computer. I missed what Lewis and Clark's numbers look like on the season statistically.
Yeah, bring the conference.
49 and 44 are their RPI and strength of schedule. What is their
bring up the conference.
Yeah, they're 12-8, 15-9. They're in the Cascade. Looking at their stats, James, and there we go. 12.26 kills, a hitting percentage of 194.
Well, if you're going to make me pick, this is a coin toss to me. I could have I'm trying to think of, like, okay, they're going to play, so I got to pick who would win. But on the other side of my brain, I'm going, neither of these teams should be in the tournament.
Yeah, I think Taylor should be in the tournament. I just think they're on the wrong side of that bracket. I think they belong over on the other side. But I think they're in. Right? But I think they're in. But I don't think Lewis and Clark is, and so
I don't know. I just okay. I give you deep. They should be up at the top somewhere.
Yeah.
On the away team side.
Yeah. But I'm going to
pick Lewis and Clark. I'm probably out on for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Taylor to win that.
Okay.
They can prove us all wrong, but they got to prove me wrong before I say I'm wrong. But
step it up.
Yeah, there you go.
I do think it's a 55-45 type of game.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to 23.
Did you pick?
I did.
You picked Taylor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like, okay. I got two right side bracket teams facing each other. I'm like, I melting my brain.
Yeah. So our next one is Park.
Yeah. Park historically has just been a really great program. They know how to win.
Yep.
Probably a little down than usual.
Yeah, maybe.
Ish. Hitting 206. They didn't get 2 blocks per set. They're good
close.
Defense.
Yeah.
18 digs per set. So backline is is
working.
really doing work.
Yeah.
Not letting a lot of balls hit the floor.
And they 13 kills per set is a good
That's
number,
a good
John.
number,
and
man.
they're in a solid conference. And
Yeah.
to average 13 kills per set, they're doing something.
Yeah.
And then Dakota Wesleyan.
Toughest conference. They're number 5.
Strength of schedule, they're number 5.
They got a
in their
couple
conference.
decent wins.
Their RPI is 24. They're a team, Dakota Wesleyan. To me, this is two left side teams playing each other.
Okay, again.
I think both of those teams deserve to be in the top 24. Yeah. And Dakota Wesleyan's hitting percentage is not very strong. Their kills per set are not very strong.
But their back line is working.
20 digs per set.
See, this is a defensive team.
Yeah. Man, they've almost got 2 blocks per set.
Where here I'm gonna make a cross sport comparison that I don't know. I think there's 2 different philosophies. Basketball in tournament time, defense wins.
Yeah.
But in volleyball, does offense? Offense usually wins, right?
Yeah. I think offense wins, and I think looking at the 2 teams comparison, I think they're both very closely matched. This one,
Can we see Park real quick?
I think both of these teams, John, could be on the left side of the bracket, but they're not. But I think the left side of the bracket is Park. I'm going to give Park the edge in this, and the main reason is their numbers. Yeah, it's going to be a great matchup.
Worthy of watch. I see this could easily go 5, and the scrappiness will keep Dakota Wesleyan there.
Yep.
And maybe wear Park out. I'm doing a prediction thing. My Nostradamus is Dakota Wesleyan. At first round they're a little rested. They go really hard on defense. They wear Park down just a little bit. If it goes to set 5, I give it to Dakota Wesleyan.
Okay, that's. I still would stay with Park, even if it does go to 5. Right. I like Park in that match. I will say this to the committee, and we've said some ugly things to them today. Not trying to be ugly, but just questioning.
I think they like to come to Jesus meeting.
Somebody needs to ask questions, and so that's what we've done.
Yeah.
This may be on the board. This may be the most right match that they got, where 23
fair
is, yes,
very
23
fair.
Is playing 26.
Yeah.
And 23 could be 24, 26 could be 23, could be 24. They're in a three match range, and I think that is probably the best matched up teams in the entire bracket.
Yeah.
I like this matchup, but
this is one you truly, I think,
makes sense.
The 5-setter, man.
Yep, and Park comes out ahead.
And I'm gonna go with Dakota Wesleyan. I'm just gonna go with Dakota Wesleyan.
There you go.
I'm not a huge, I understand why they're on the right side.
Yeah.
But again, we're at that place where right side, left side kind of meet.
Yeah.
And I mean, Park didn't earn it. They're usually a little bit higher. I just think they didn't earn higher, so they are where they are right now because of that. At 173, you need to hit 200 or better if you're going to earn it, get up, and get a few more wins. But you got Park, I got Dakota Wesleyan.
There we go.
Cornerstone. The last one. This is the one.
Yeah,
this one right here.
This is the one that makes you scratch, and you'd have to see my screen right here. It could not be better set up. My very top team on the top of my list is Cornerstone. They have an RPI of 23, and they landed at 24. Strength of schedule was 68. At the very bottom of my screen, at RPI of 59 and strength of schedule 27 is Walla Walla. Walla Walla for me, is the biggest head scratcher. Well, not biggest. It's a head scratcher. It'd be 10-10 in your conference. And can you leave that conference up for just 1 second? There, thank you. When we're looking at Walla Walla, they're 10-10 in their conference. They're 14-12 overall. They're below Southern Oregon at 10-10 and 11-9, and Southern Oregon is 14-14. I think in their arc, I think it's the same setup. Coaches poll, Southern Oregon is 25. Walla Walla's not. And Walla Walla got in. And but I didn't see them play. I didn't see their end of the season stuff. I look at 9-9, 10-10, 14-12. I just don't see how they are the 25th team.
There's no way they should be in this tournament.
They're 25th team. They're not just in. They're ranked number 25.
Which is strange.
And to me, that was out of kilter. That's my opinion, and I'm allowed to have it until I get home. That's a joke. But I feel like looking at those two schools, Walla Walla did have 13 kills per set. They hit 183, 12.45 assists, 1.59 blocks. Be interesting to see, look at who they played. I mean, they played a tough schedule. Played a very tough schedule. And, that's their conference. Their conference is just good.
I disagree. But so we're going to land on two different kind of.
They lost they lost to Southern Oregon just a few weeks ago, and yet they edged them out. Those are some things that I think. They beat Southern Oregon in their conference tournament.
They
and that's going to be the determining factor for them.
They did not end well.
Well, they did.
Hold on. They didn't end well, but they got two wins and took Eastern Oregon to a 5-set.
Yeah.
And
but they
you still they went 2-6. All right. So a lot of losses. You're 500 and you don't have KPI. And you kind of inflate this strength of schedule. Even with that, it's just it doesn't.
I think the only argument you could make for them is their last three matches, but they took Eastern Oregon, number 1 overall team in the tournament. They took them to. Can we click on that link? See what score was that, James? The Eastern Oregon, their conference championship game. It's up one. There you go.
So did they get an auto bid? Is that how they got in, actually?
I'd have to go look
I mean,
at
it's
that
a moot
list,
point if that's how they got in. Because we can't say they shouldn't be in because that's you earned it. So what they did was they stole.
They're an at-large.
We just got confirmation they're at-large.
But when looking at that at-large team, if you're going to say they get in because they played in their conference championship game, and they took the number 1 seed overall to a 5th set. They're the number 7 seed in their conference tournament. They did something. But
again,
to let
what's Eastern Oregon got to lose?
Oh, nothing.
And I mean, you've coached for a long time. I've been part of competitive
Here's what
experience,
if Eastern Oregon loses that match right there, John, here's what's going to happen. They're going to be the number 2 team overall instead of the number 1 team.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Walla Walla and Cornerstone. I know you're going with Cornerstone, aren't
this
you?
is not even going to be close.
Yeah.
And I know you go, well, they almost they really
Yeah.
did something with Eastern Oregon,
I'm
but number
looking,
1.
saying they're.
And I'm going, okay, just go watch the match.
Yeah.
Just go watch the match.
Yeah, I'd like to.
And
Maybe they'll send it to me. John, I look at Walla Walla and say Walla Walla shouldn't be at 25. I'm not sure they should even be in the field. I think Evangel, Southeastern, Central Methodist. There's a bunch of schools that could be there.
And
over
now,
that.
okay, let's talk about one of the things. I think we counted 9 takeaways. Was it 9 or 7? Where teams that probably wouldn't have made it got in because they met
automatic
the
bids.
auto bid criteria.
Yeah, it was 9.
Okay, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
And I know that made the job of picking a lot tougher.
Sure it did.
So, and I'm not going to make that is a reality. That
It
is
is.
tougher, but there's just too many other teams.
Yeah.
It didn't make it that much tougher.
Right.
And there's a couple where you go, oh yeah, I don't know, and you go, okay, well if that's a bubble thing and that's a fence, Walla Walla's not a fence thing, man.
Yeah.
It's just not. They didn't win, but they took a top team to the 5th set. They had absolutely probably just pride to say we didn't lose, but just going in, there's a mentality that happens
Sure.
with those kind of games.
Sure.
And you've already seen them twice.
Right.
So, it's
Yeah. So, John, you're picking Cornerstone.
oh, yeah.
Not even having to think about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 3-0. That's a sweeper. That's another
Well,
thing.
we're not
Are there any
doing
sweepers?
it. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I think
yeah.
your top, you're probably your top 7, maybe 8, could be sweeps. Maybe.
I'm looking at, Columbia. Can they take a set from Bellevue?
Maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah. My
Texas Wesleyan could definitely take a set off of McPherson.
I think Texas Wesleyan could be an upset with McPherson,
Could be.
simply because I know how well they can match up if they play well. They're going to have to play well because McPherson's awfully good.
I think even if McPherson's off a little bit, they're still really, really good.
Yeah, they're good.
But if
good.
McPherson plays their top game, bro, they're top 3 or 4 team.
All right, here we go. John, I don't like this pick, but I'm going to do it. I may even go buy a T-shirt.
Uh-oh.
No, I think Walla Walla is going to beat Cornerstone. And I know you came out of your chair, but it's okay. And my reasons for it go back to I look at their last 3 matches and see how they played.
All right. Here's something. If Walla Walla beats Cornerstone, I will go and buy the most obnoxious Walla Walla shirt there is to buy and wear it for a week.
Okay. James Lex is our witness. You heard that, didn't you, James?
Well, everybody's our witness.
I'm going to pick Walla Walla just simply because how well they're playing at the end of the season.
How well they're playing at the end?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Well, I hope it translates for a lot of teams. How well we're playing. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the field. That's the field,
Like
John.
I don't see that as playing well.
Okay.
15 sets, and like take the 1, 2, 3. They're 2 and 6.
Yeah.
That's strong.
No.
You're saying that's strong, bro? Okay, man. I mean, I guess I'm
You're
I'm
good.
scared to death because
No, don't be scared.
your volleyball intuition
Do you think
is
I just
going to be
hurt myself, huh?
so good.
What
and
I'm looking
like,
for.
wow,
Here
man.
we go.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
It'll be fun to watch.
It's
and
going to be
it's
an
gonna be a
absolute blast.
It's going to be a great tournament, and
Yeah, it will be. And for all the nitpicking and griping we have done, it's still going to be a great tournament.
Sure it is.
And there is 48 teams that are live right now.
that's right.
They're live, and they got a chance.
Yep.
Everybody's got
every one
a
of them have a
chance.
chance. Every one of them have a chance.
And that is a lot of fun.
That is.
I can't wait.
This
Man,
was fun.
it was a blast. Thanks
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
coming on and
I enjoyed
being
this.
a part, because your opinion really does matter to me, and I think it should matter to a lot of people because you
Well,
really know stuff.
Thank you, sir.
And I've learned so much from you. You've taught me just the world when it comes to this volleyball world. I'm in debt to you for all that. All right, guys. Well, this is we decided to record this and air it a little bit later, but we're gonna have a lot of fun. I'm gonna do another show. Maybe we can talk Hank into coming back in, and we'll focus on the student athletes and some of the leaders and some of the hitters and the defensive players, the servers and the and the middle blockers and the middle
there's
hitters.
a bunch of
And
good ones.
There's so many good student athletes.
Yeah.
These ladies have really earned they need someone to talk about them because they've worked so hard, and we definitely want to do that before all this gets started on Saturday, man.
Yeah.
This is awesome. It's the holidays are here. You know it because I can smell the volleyball leather in the air. All right, guys. It's been an absolute it's been a blessing to be able to do this.
Wonderful.
And we're so glad you tuned in. Leave a comment if you dissent with us. Put it in the comment. Don't send me email. And my email is full of hate mail that I'll never read. So if you want to get your point across to us, just leave it in the comments. Subscribe, like, whatever you do on the portal that you see this on. It's been a blast.
It's been fun.
Until next time.